Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
I found myself with way more opportunity outside of skating.
When you were 17, you actually bought your own house and had your own house.
Well, my parents were never home.
You have a lot of gnarly injuries.
I knew that I couldn't get hurt in front of her or I'd be in big trouble.
All right, today we are joined by multi-time skateboarding world champion. He's got 16 X Games medals. He's a father, podcaster, and of course, the undisputed GOAT of skateboarding, Tony Hawk. How we doing, Tony?
Good, thank you.
So starting off with some coffee, you and Starbucks are collabing to showcase their new at-home coffee blends. How did that come about, and what's your favorite one out of the new blends?
Well, it came about because I'm a coffee fanatic, and they knew it. I usually go to Starbucks once or twice a week on the way to taking my daughter to school. And so now we are doing the iced coffee blends where you make it home. And the whole idea is that it's very chill. Get the
Yeah.
double entendre, but it's also very easy. And what I'm doing here is showing how easy it can be by making it as difficult as possible.
Instead of do not try this at home, it's try this at home.
Try this at home, yeah, but
Yeah.
maybe not the way I do it.
What is your go-to Starbucks order?
If I'm at Starbucks, it's usually a tall Americano.
Oh, nice.
But at home, it's the iced coffee blend, signature K-Cup black.
K-Cup black. Yeah, I'm a black coffee guy too. So I wanted to touch on some content stuff. You're currently doing a series with a creator named Democracy, where you're trying to uncover this mystery behind the famous photo of the guy skateboarding in a suit in
Yeah.
Central Park. Super fascinating. It's going super viral. I'm totally invested now. How did that series come about? And like, what's the backstory of that for those who don't know?
It's a photo that is just kind of this mystery photo of a guy skating in Central Park in 1965. He's got a suit on, he's got sunglasses on, and from a skater's perspective, there's something about him that's really intriguing because he really can skate. You can tell that he's very comfortable on it. He's leaning into it. He's got the stance that is the stance of a veteran skateboarder. And in 1965, I can't imagine there were very many veteran skateboarders.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be for a series for Life magazine, but that picture never ran in Life.
Mhm.
And it sort of got uncovered later through some different Life exhibits. And so I kind of chased it down because I love the photo and I just want a copy of it. So I bought a frame print of it from the gallery that represented the photographer and tried to ask if they knew anything about it. I asked Life magazine. They didn't know. They just said he only wrote skateboarder on the negative. So I just kind of put it out to the world like, hey, how can we figure out who this guy is? And then someone tagged Danocracy and they said Danocracy loves doing this kind of stuff. So I hit him up and off we went. But honestly, he's doing all the work. I'm not at this point. I'm just a spectator. Every time he loads and he puts a new video up, I watch it with the same sense of anticipation as everyone else.
No, yeah, it's great. It's like a mini documentary, like full on mystery. I'm like, it's very cool. But I wanted to touch on some other content you're doing. So you've been doing your podcast for a while now, Hawk vs. Wolf.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on like how did you get into that and like how different is that from the skating world? Because it's two completely different lanes, but they're both like on a big scale, a lot of viewers.
Well, I was doing a radio show for Sirius XM for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And or about no 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. And I felt like I was just starting to hit my stride in terms of learning how to interview people, being able to book prominent guests, and that contract ended. And then Jason Ellis, who is my co-host, he was also on Sirius XM with his own show. He got let go, and so he and I thought, we have something that we can do. Let's just do podcasts because that's the new media. And so we just kind of went for it because we realized we already knew how to do a show. We have the resources to book guests, and we kind of did it on our own for a while, and then got the support of a podcast group. And it's really fun. I feel like we're both getting better at it as we do it, but I really enjoy it. And I feel like we have something unique.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very entertaining and like the connection you guys have on screen, it shows. So,
Oh, thank
um,
you.
yeah. So going back a few years, when you first started skating, right? Wasn't really like something you could do as a career. Like it wasn't a career path. But then you kind of paved the way. If skating never became a viable career, is there anything else you think you would be doing in life, like as a career?
The only other thing I really learned as a craft was video editing and at an early age, because when I was just out of high school, that's when computers were starting to be used for editing and for home video, which was kind of a brand new thing. And I happened to get one of the most advanced systems because I did a promotion for them. Not that I could afford it, but
Yeah.
so I had a video toaster and I was doing nonlinear video, and that was at a time when the only people that could do nonlinear were actual broadcast stations because no one else could afford it.
Yeah, so
Um,
you got in
and then
early.
when skating took a dive in popularity, I started doing that as a freelance, and that's kind of how I paid the bills.
Awesome. Yeah, like speaking back to high school, I've heard that when you were 17, you actually bought your own house and had your own house. What was that like? Like, was your house like the go-to spot, like on the weekends and like party spot?
Yeah, not just on weekends. Almost any night, because people get excited when their friends' parents aren't home. Well, my parents were never home,
Yeah.
so it was challenging to stay focused on schoolwork in those years. But because I was traveling so much, it wasn't like I was just there,
Yeah.
um, being a disaster all the time.
No, yeah, that's a great story. Speaking on skating a little more. You have a lot of gnarly injuries in your career. Like one that came comes to mind for me is when you were shredding it up in the backyard pool and you screwed up your fingers. What do you think is the hardest part about coming back stronger after experiencing these injuries? Because I mean, you've had some brutal ones.
Well, I mean, the hardest part besides trying to make a recovery physically is getting your confidence back. Because in cases like that, especially if it's a trick that you feel like you know so well, you don't even it's not hard, and then suddenly you pay the price for getting lazy on it. It's really hard to get that confidence back that you could do it again.
Yeah,
And I think that's probably the biggest struggle through all of it. I mean, obviously the physical elements are always a challenge, and you got to be patient and you've got to work hard. But at some point, you have all your physical, you have the healing done. But it's more like, how do you get past this sort of roadblock of mindset? And I think I've had to convince myself many times, like, you've done that so many times, you could still do it again.
yeah, yeah. Do you have one in particular that you think was like, oh man, this is gonna take a while to get the confidence back?
Sure. I mean, when I broke my leg 2 years ago, I did it on a McTwist, and I've been doing McTwist for nearly 40 years and never really thought about getting extremely hurt on it because I never had. And then
Yeah.
I got the most hurt on it.
Oof.
So to come back from that and to try McTwist again was probably one of the scariest days.
Yeah.
In fact, I purposely invited my wife the day I decided I was going to do it because I knew that I couldn't get hurt in front of her or I'd be in big trouble.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember seeing the X-ray for that one. That one was something. One more throwback I wanted to touch. I mean, obviously I'm a early 2000s kid, so we all know and love the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. Definitely came out when skateboarding was, starting to become a little more mainstream, just changed the game. So I've always been curious, like, how did that game series affect your life throughout the years, and like, why do you think it made them such a staple?
Um, Well, I think that firstly, it was a great time for a skate video game because skating was on the rise, and there had been nothing that featured skating within maybe 5 years of that time, and so we were right on the precipice of home consoles with PlayStation. But I mean, beyond that, the gameplay was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
and it was fun to come back to, even if you've already finished it. So for me, I was just really proud of the game and the series, and then it changed my life completely because suddenly my name was synonymous with video games, and I found myself with way more opportunity outside of skating based on that success. And I mean, I'm still hugely proud of it, and some people know my name only as a video game, and
Oh,
that's
wow.
okay with me.
Yeah, like, I mean, absolute classics. You can't beat them. But yeah, I think that's about all we got for you, Tony. So I appreciate you joining. Make sure everyone try the new Starbucks home blends. Yeah, Tony, have a great day. Thank you.
Cool, thank you, appreciate it.